The first thing I noticed that evening wasn't the chandelier or the polished silverware. It was the way my son-in-law barely looked at me when I walked in. Just a quick glance, a tight smile. Then his attention snapped back to his phone, as if whatever was on that screen mattered more than the man who had raised his wife that I didn't mind. I had gotten used to it. "Dad, you made it," my daughter said softly, stepping forward to hug me. Her warmth was the only thing in that house that felt real. "Of course I did," I replied with a small smile, adjusting the cuff of my plain shirt. "Wouldn't miss a family dinner." Her husband, Daniel, finally stood up. Tall, confident, dressed in a tailored suit even though it was just dinner at his parents' home. "Good to see you," he said, offering a handshake that felt more like a formality than a welcome that I shook his hand anyway. "You too." Behind him, his parents watched me with polite curiosity, the kind people reserve for someone they've already decided isn't important. His mother's eyes flicked over my shoes, my watch, my simple clothes. I saw the silent judgment settle in. "Perfect. Please, sit," his father said, gesturing to the table. His tone was courteous, but distant that I took my seat quietly. Dinner began with small talk. Safe topics. Weather. Traffic. The kind of conversations people use when they don't care to know you. Then Daniel leaned back in his chair, swirling the drink in his glass. "Work's been intense lately," he said, a hint of pride in his voice. "Our CEO is pushing for expansion again. Big decisions. High-level stuff." I kept my eyes on my plate. "That's so." "Oh, yeah," he continued, warming up now that he had an audience. "Not everyone understands what it takes to run a company like that. It's pressure, strategy, vision. You wouldn't really get it unless you're in that world." His mother nodded approvingly. "Daniel works very hard. He's doing very well for himself." "I'm sure he is," I said calmly. Daniel smiled, but there was something sharp behind it. "What about you? Still keeping things simple?" My daughter shifted uncomfortably. "Daniel, it's fine," I said gently, stopping her. I looked at him. "Yes, I prefer a simple life." He chuckled softly, leaning closer to the table. "Must be nice. No stress. No big responsibilities. Just easy living." I let the silence stretch for a moment before answering. "There are different kinds of responsibilities." He didn't catch it. Or maybe he didn't care. The food was served. Expensive dishes, carefully plated. His mother described each one as if we were in a five-star restaurant. I ate slowly, observing every glance, every tone, every subtle dismissal. When I asked a question, it was answered briefly. When Daniel spoke, everyone listened. When I spoke, it felt like an interruption, exactly what I expected. Halfway through dinner, Daniel's father leaned forward. "So, Daniel tells us you've always lived modestly, never really pursued business or ambition." My daughter looked at me, her eyes apologetic that I smiled faintly. "I've pursued what mattered to me." Daniel smirked. "Yeah, but you never aimed higher? Bigger opportunities, more success?" I wiped my hands with a napkin and looked directly at him. "Success means different things to different people." He laughed lightly. "Sure, but let's be honest. There's a difference between surviving and actually succeeding." The room went quiet for a second, then my daughter's voice came out barely above a whisper. "That's enough, Daniel." But I raised my hand slightly. "No, let him speak." I turned to him fully now. "Tell me, Daniel, what does success look like to you?" He didn't hesitate. "Power, influence, being at the top, making decisions that matter, leading people." I nodded slowly. "And respect." "Of course," he said. "Respect comes with it." I leaned back in my chair, folding my hands calmly. "And do you believe respect is something you give, or something you only offer when you think someone deserves it?" He frowned slightly, as if the question annoyed him. "It has to be earned." "I see." There was a pause. A longer one this time. I reached into my jacket. Not for anything dramatic, just my phone. I placed it gently on the table, Daniel glanced at it, uninterested. I've heard a lot about your company tonight, I said. Expansion plans. Big decisions. His posture straightened with pride. We're growing fast. It's an exciting time. I imagine your CEO must be under a lot of pressure. He smirked again. That's why not everyone can do that job. I held his gaze. You're right. Then I tapped my phone once and turned the screen toward him. At first, he didn't react. His eyes scanned the email open on the screen. Then he froze. His smile disappeared. He leaned in closer. And I watched the exact moment everything changed. His father noticed. What is it? Daniel didn't answer. His mother leaned forward. Daniel. His voice, when it finally came out, was different. Lower. Unsteady. This is from corporate. I nodded slightly. Yes. He looked up at me, confusion turning into realization. Why do you have? Because I sent it, I said quietly. The words landed like a stone in water. Silence spread across the table. My daughter stared at me, her eyes wide. Dad? I met her gaze, softening just for a moment. I was going to tell you. Just not like this. Daniel's face had gone pale. No, that's not possible. I slid the phone a little closer to him. Read the signature. His hands trembled as he looked again. The room felt smaller now. Tighter. His father stood up slightly. What is going on? Daniel swallowed hard. He's the CEO. The words echoed. N01 moved. N01 spoke. That I sat there the same way I had all evening. Same clothes. Same posture. Same calm expression. Nothing about me had changed. Only what they knew. His mother sank back into her chair, her earlier confidence gone. We didn't realize. No, I said gently. You didn't. Daniel pushed his chair back slightly, as if he needed space to breathe. Why wouldn't you say anything? I looked at him, not with anger, not with pride, but with something much quieter. I wanted to see who you were when you thought I was no one. The weight of that sentence settled heavily on him. He opened his mouth, but no words came out. For the first time that evening, he didn't have anything to say. I stood up slowly, adjusting my sleeve again. Dinner was lovely. Thank you for having me. No one tried to stop me. As I walked toward the door, my daughter hurried after me. Dad, wait. I turned, placing a gentle hand on her shoulder. You chose your life. Just make sure you're choosing it with someone who understands what respect really means. Her eyes filled with tears. Behind her, Daniel stood frozen, staring at the table where everything had changed. I gave her a small, reassuring smile, then stepped out into the night. And for the first time, I knew they would never look at a simple man the same way again.